I make this powerful sleeping potion out of a common weed that's everywhere. I've tried every herbal remedy for sleep, and this is by far the best. You have to prepare it right though. I have a late phase sleep cycle, so getting to bed early has been a challenge my whole life, but this stuff lets me fall asleep and stay asleep. Plus, it gives me vivid dreams. This is prickly wild lettuce, Lactuca serriola. You can diagnose the Lactuca genus by the row of spines along the underside of the midrib of the leaf. So this is the same genus as commercial lettuce that you find in a grocery store, but the wild species are much more bitter, raw. But there's a much better use for it. I use it for making soporific tea. I gather whole plants of this, and then I let them dry, and then crumble or crush them or blend them up into a powder. And then you put that on a low simmer below boiling for about 10 to 20 minutes. And you should put like a cup of this per quart of water. Just a really strong infusion. And you drink about a pint of that before bedtime, and it makes you sleep well and also gives you vivid dreams. Just gathered all that in a few minutes. It has this milky sap or latex that's usually a white to brownish tint. It's important to never let it get above boiling temperatures. You have to keep it at a very low simmer the whole time for 10 or 20 minutes. And here's a quicker way you can do it in the blender with the dried whole plants. Okay, I got to rant for a few minutes about wild lettuce because there's a lot of nonsense information out there about it. So Lactucarium, also known as lettuce opium, is the latex of the Lactuca species, and it does have sedative and analgesic properties. That's pain relieving. Its analgesic properties are at best comparable to ibuprofen and aspirin. The appellation with opium is in reference to that also being derived from a milky latex, and lactucarium was historically used to dilute opium. The sedative and analgesic properties of opium are orders of magnitude more potent, like 100 times. Lactuca species don't contain any chemical that activates any opiate receptor. So there's a lot of disingenuous info out there suggesting that wild lettuce is a powerful pain medicine and that it even has euphoric effects and it's comparable to opium. It's not comparable at all. In my significant experience, wild lettuce has almost undetectable pain relief effects. It's not comparable to opium whatsoever. It's not even the same league as kratom for pain relief. While some research suggests that it has clinical evidence for pain relief, those studies are on rats and mice and require indirect measurement because mice aren't like, oh yeah, thanks so much, brother, that feels so much better. I've tried every common herbal medicine out there, and wild lettuce is absolutely my favorite for sleep, though. And this has long been used by folk medicine with different Lactuca species all across the world. People react differently to different herbs, and valerian root may be as good or better for some, and it has mild effects on me, but is much less effective than wild lettuce. So other plants growing in the US used for sedatives include chamomile, wild chamomile like pineapple weed, passion flower, lemon balm, catnip, peppermint, pearly everlasting, St. John's wort, motherwort, chicory, New Jersey tea, magnolia, catalpa, mimosa tree, wild cherry, black cohosh, California poppy, skullcap, hops, vervain, and lobelia, nicotiana, and cannabis. I've tried most of these, but only those last three have sedative effects as strong or stronger than Lactuca. But those have additional effects that may be undesirable, whereas Lactuca has basically no other effect and is also nutritious. Fun fact, historical aside here, nicotiana was actually used most commonly for sleeping by American Indians historically. So many people use just wild lettuce latex or similar extracts, but the entire plant and its vascular system contains the latex, and it can be most efficiently extracted by drying, grinding, and simmering the herb in the water, as I show in my video. The roots can be harvested, but it can regrow if you just take the higher above ground parts. And the seeds have also been used for various medicinal purposes, including sedatives. So it's at its most potent when at least a foot high, but before flowering, and it can get like 6 feet tall. But it can be gathered year round, or at least whenever it has green and living parts. Those have the latex flowing through it. And Lactuca serriola is introduced and invasive, but there are 8 native Lactuca species in the US, such as Lactuca canadensis.